Always wanted to do something with reclaimed lumber. I finally found the time to stop by a place nearby and pick up some what I think is white oak. Figured the easiest thing to do was order some hairpin legs and make a coffee table. The links to everything I used are in the description below, including the set of $25 hairpin legs I picked up. I started over on the miter saw and cut all the boards down to the same length. Next, I ripped them down on my table saw to about 5 inches wide, only to glue them right back together. I thought the table would look better with thinner strips rather than 12-inch wide sections. I did the glue up in 2 parts so I could run each section through my planer and try to get a somewhat flat surface and hopefully still keep most of the saw marks. I'm using weld bond instead of wood glue since it dries clear. I thought this would look a little bit better with the squeeze out since it would be easier to clean rather than the yellow residue of wood glue. I cleaned up the edges with my circular saw. I think these clips are out of order, but I cleaned up the boards using an angle grinder with a 4-inch wire brush. This is to remove all the years of dirt and grime from them. If you can afford it, I'd highly recommend getting a Makita wheel sander with a wire brush. It would make this process a heck of a lot less dusty. I don't know if this is needed, but I decided to do it anyway. I routed out a channel to insert a mending plate in an attempt to prevent the table from bowing since it's sitting on hairpin legs on each corner. I was going to drill holes in a strip of steel to make these myself, but I found a 12-inch version already available at the hardware store. I marked the spots where I'm going to drill the holes for screws to secure the mending plate. But before attaching the hardware and the legs, I sanded everything down to 220 grit. After sanding, I filled all the cracks with a 2-part epoxy to prevent the cracks from expanding even more. Then I gave the top 3 coats of Minwax polyacrylic with a light sanding at 220 grit in between each coat. I used some 1-inch long cabinet screws for the mending plates and legs since they have a large pan head that I think looks better with the reclaimed wood. To further achieve a reclaimed look, I sprayed them with 2 coats of Rust-Oleum matte hammered spray paint in black. Finally, I drilled out all the holes in the mending plates and attached the screws. Then I measured the spacing for all the legs, marked out the holes for them, drilled them out, and screwed the legs in. For the reveal, I didn't realize the top wasn't in the frame. Anyway, I love the way this looks and how the saw marks are positioned. This wasn't something I planned, it just happened to work out that way. Sadly, we don't have anywhere for this piece in my house and my wife wants me to get rid of it. So as of editing this video, this table has been sold for a pretty decent profit and it's the first piece of furniture I've ever sold. Some people tried to lowball me with a price, and I was tempted to go soup Nazi on them and say, I'd rather smash this table to pieces than sell it for that price. Anyway, thanks for watching. Check out my website for detailed plans, and follow me on Instagram to see what other things I'm up to.